The brutal reality here. You know, I always have been one to scour the airwaves in search of interesting patterns. And one of the patterns I've come across quite a bit in the last few months consists of articles describing the trials and tribulations of women dealing with their unemployed men. Now, I don't have to describe the recession to you. Many of you are dealing with it in your everyday lives, especially men, who by far constitute the largest portion of laid-off workers by gender. What I would like to address is the way that these so-called articles, editorials really, treat unemployed men. In short, they treat men like shit. A small handful of articles have been supportive of men in a cliched, pseudo-therapeutic kind of way, but the majority of them have been downright pulverizing in the way they treat men who are out of work. Getting right down to business, I've seen these articles go in three basic directions. 1. The cretin. The claim is that when men are unemployed, they revert to the lowest form of cretinism, scratching their balls in front of the television all day, sinking in alcoholism, engaging in hours of video games, generally morphing into lazy slobs. Of course, that's what we men are all like on the inside, right? Give us the chance and we'll gladly wallow in self-pity and unproductiveness. Those years of hard work were just a facade hiding the true male nature of an unshaven beast whose sole aim is to spend hours at World of Warcraft, right? 2. The wimp. Many women convey horror and dismay that their husbands, now unemployed, are doing quite a bit around the house. Too much, in fact. Now, apart from this being a reaction of fear at men usurping the traditional roles of women, strange to hear this in the age of feminism, this is incredibly two-faced. 1 second women are whining that men are lazy, unemployed slobs. The next they're whining that men are turning into women. Well, which one is it, you psycho brats? Is it lazy slob or is it Mr. Mom? Make up your minds. Oh, I forgot. The women of today don't have to make up their minds anymore. They can vacillate at will and we just have to deal with it. Whatever they say, whatever subjective experience they're having at that exact moment is the absolute truth. How silly of me. I forgot that demanding logic or consistency from women is misogyny. Then there's 3. The lost soul. My husband used to be the light of my life. He was a good man. But since he's been laid off, he's become a lost soul. He's depressed. He doesn't talk. He mopes around the house. I just don't know what to do. This is perhaps the most pathetic scenario of all. It's as if the woman has never read a book in her life. These complaints deal with the idea that men identify with their work to such an extent, if you take the work away, they're nothing. Well, to a certain extent, that's true. Remember that men have always worked, so we're pretty damn used to it. We've spent about 80% of our lives working outside of the home since the dawn of the machine age. It's not rocket science to conclude that we're going to become strongly associated with what we do most of the time. The catch here, though, is that men are being blamed for this. We are blamed for being empty shells apart from our jobs, which, remember, we don't have a choice to go to. Also notice the double standard at play. Men are empty workaholics, women are driven. Nice. This naive, lost soul whinge is just the worst. It's as if the woman is a complete moron with no handle on human nature. Apparently, she has no clue that telling her husband he's a good guy and going for a walk with him or something might lift his spirits. What an imbecile. And by the way, most of these whinge fests come from religious types. Let's make it easy. Allow me to rephrase what the lost soul woman is really saying. My husband used to be the light of my life, but now that he doesn't have a job, I don't like him anymore. Case closed. You know, this whole situation ties into a much deeper issue. It's that women never really had any goal to become breadwinners. They only wanted the option to work. The responsibility of supporting a household will always belong to the male, and if he can't do it, he's a wuss and a failure. And if this is the case, which I think it is, then I suggest all career women give up their briefcases and take up kitchen aprons, because you can't have your cake and eat it too. The laws of economics forbid it. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and if you want something here, you're going to have to give up something there. If you're going to work and earn money, you're eventually going to get the responsibility that goes along with it. That responsibility might be the chance that if something falls through, you might become the breadwinner. This whinge fest going on right now is really a collective dismay that women will have to work. Women have never wanted it to be a requirement that they work. All they ever wanted was the option. Here's a news flash, girls. Men work because we have to work. For us, it's work or jail. We do not have the female options of work full-time and stay single, get married and work part-time, or get married and not work at all. Except for a very few of us, all men work, and we are expected to work until the day they throw dirt on our graves. Until women and their mangina cohorts get this into their thick heads, they have no place in criticizing a nation of unemployed men, and so they should keep their pie holes shut. But the guiltiest party, of course, is the idiotic men who reinforce entitlement behavior and double standards in women. The men who pick up every dinner check even though their wives or girlfriends make as much money as they do. The neurotic whiners and diners who treat all women like princesses because they lack the spine or the confidence to stand up for anything. The wimpy husbands ready to cave in to any illogical demand. The cavemen who are willing to overlook any fault in a woman, no matter how serious, in order to get into her pants. Is it any wonder that women who expect to live entitled lives are the first to show their claws or hit the highway when things get tough? Don't be surprised when it happens to you guys. You gave them permission to act this way through your own behavior. By allowing someone to live in an illusion, you give them permission to act like a jerk when things don't go their way. If you try some reality from the very beginning, you can save yourself a lot of trouble later on. It's really quite simple. Anyway, that's all I have. To all the whiny girls with illegitimate gripes about their men being out of work, here's some advice. Sit tight, strap in, get to work, and deal with it. Or hit the road. The choice, as always, is yours. See you next time.